It, we're recording. We will have a record of this class. Thank you, Amy. Okay, so let's do a little self-reporting. Ponder and consider. How did you do? How did you do with the hard thing you chose to work on last week? Red, yellow, green.
Green.
Yay! Anybody want to actually report? You don't have to if you don't want to. It might be a personal issue. But how did you do? I did green too.
I did yellow, I guess.
All right. Yellow is good.
I was red. I was an overachiever.
Good job. It's okay. And yeah, the Abbotts, you guys probably didn't hear about it.
I got mine from 2 weeks ago was green.
Oh,
The little
awesome.
fact about it, ancestor. I didn't realize my grandma great was married 3 times. Had no idea.
Wow.
So it was easy to find though. So
Hey, but you found it. You did it.
I verified that, Jake. That is true.
okay.
Wow. You
I've been
showed up.
been doing live family history, talking with grandpa and moving them
Oh yeah, I'll bet you get a lot of stories right now.
Well, y'all have unlimited access to them right now. So
yes,
That's
we
a blessing. Yep, that's a
But as
blessing.
far as the legal beagle history stuff, I've done a little tiny bit, but not much. Just
When
a
my
couple
folks lived
of
with us, it was a wealth, same way. We got a lot of good information. I just learned so much more about my mom, you know? All right, how'd you do with writing down one thing you're grateful for each day? And contacting and supporting your action partner. And sharing what you learned with family and friends. Okay, so there's room for improvement. I see a lot of head shaking.
I think I only missed the grateful yesterday. I
Awesome.
think I did everything that writing it down. I think that yesterday's the only day I missed. And Amy and I talk and text through the week. So
I think
we're
yesterday
green
was
on
the
that.
only day we didn't.
That is
Yeah,
awesome.
so we're green.
Awesome.
Deal.
Everybody who shook their head, it's okay. Just there's room for improvement.
well, Brother St. George and I are such good friends. We don't actually need to talk to each other.
Whatever.
We just know.
That's right. We know each other's
Telepathically
thoughts.
connected.
We live about 4 minutes from each other too. So there you go.
So we have this local connection here.
All right, all right. Okay, so let's just things that you learned. Let's talk about things you learned from striving to keep your commitments this week. What came up as you worked on your hard things project, or as you recorded the things that you were grateful for, or that you, as you worked on your family history and got in and learned about your third grandma? What'd you learn as you worked with that?
Well, I learned that I've been doing a lot of Myrna's work this week, and I learned that her relatives, there's a bunch of, her maiden name is Dixon. There's a bunch of relatives in the Bonham, in the Willow Wild Cemetery in Bonham.
Oh,
And they're about, I think there was 12 of them, Dixons. And I've learned some of them were on a totally separate line. I can find no connection way back in the 1600s. But I did find a few that were her in her line. And so I added some information for her to those people. I'm still working on that, but I thought it was interesting to see how many Dixons there are. And I know somewhere back there they're connected, because that line, most of those in that cemetery came from Kentucky, and her ancestors came from Tennessee. So, you know, they're at some point they were probably all together somehow. But so anyway, I was glad to figure that out, because we had visited that cemetery years ago and trying to find some of those graves. So that was a good experience. I wanted to put something on their graves for Memorial Day. So
yeah, that's cool. Wow. That's awesome. I learned from Sister Watson Nelson when I was listening to that talk. She let everybody know that those who are on the other side of the veil weren't excited about being called dead. I thought that was real interesting. She's
They
like,
weren't excited about what?
about being referred to as being dead.
Oh,
She said they just didn't like that, which I thought was interesting that she shared it from the pulpit at women's conference. I'm like, all right, Noted, to remind us, we're all people, we're all going through the same thing, right?
Did they have an alternate phrase?
No, she didn't get any suggestions. She just kind of giggled and said, and they're not real excited about being referred to as dead.
They're
Well,
not, they're
because their
just in
spirit
another
lives
life.
on.
Because they're not dead, they're just moved on.
Yeah, their spirit lives on.
Yeah, so they're not dead.
No.
Which I thought was a really interesting viewpoint, but I'm like, okay, note to self, we're gonna refer to the people on the other side of the veil as the people on the other side of the veil, or the people who've graduated, or the people who've moved on. I love the graduated idea. We've got a lot of graduation people in our family. Anybody else want to share what they learned? What came up?
Just that we can do hard things and we haven't failed until we quit trying.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll leave it at that.
I love that. Yep. And I've learned from being grateful and writing my gratitude journal that it is a really wonderful thing to go back and look at when you're not feeling very grateful. So many blessings. It's amazing. It really is a great pick me up. All right. What do we want to do for action partners this week? Well, I guess this is our last class. We don't have to have, but you
Yeah.
guys keep in contact.
Yes.
Yeah, Jake and I keep in contact almost daily, so.
Pretty much daily.
All right, y'all. When you come back, we'll do action partners when we come back.
Okay,
All right. That sounds good. Then let's talk about this. This is an exciting lesson for me. It's one of my very favorite ones. Become one, serve together. That's our foundation principle for this time.
Are we supposed to be seeing a new slide?
Yeah, are you not seeing them?
We're still seeing a little boy.
No, you should have seen a whole bunch of slides. I've been having a really good show here. Let me just.
No, we've just seen a little boy.
yeah,
Okay,
we saw the first slide, but that's all.
let's see. How about this one? Can you see
That-
evaluate with your action partner?
Yeah,
Yes.
showing up now.
Okay, then. How about this one? The one with the video?
Yes.
Can you see the video? All right.
The principles at the foundation of the church welfare program are not for only one time or one place. They are for all times and all places. The way it is to be done is clear. Those who have accumulated more are to humble themselves to help those in need. Those in abundance are to voluntarily sacrifice some of their comfort, time, skills, and resources to relieve the suffering of those in need. And the help is to be given in a way that increases the power of the recipients to care for themselves and then care for others. Done in this, the Lord's way, something remarkable can happen. Both the giver and the receiver are blessed.
Brothers and sisters, we each have made a covenant, and we have a covenant responsibility to be sensitive to the needs of others and serve as the Savior did, to reach out, bless, and uplift those around us. Often the answer to our prayer does not come while we are on our knees, but while we are on our feet, serving the Lord and serving those around us. Selfless acts of service and consecration refine our spirit, remove the scales from our spiritual eyes, and open the windows of heaven. By becoming the answer to someone's prayer, we often find the answer to our own.
Great. Question is, how does losing myself in the service of others actually save me? Everybody here has experience with service. How does it actually save us when we get into service?
Take my eyes off me.
It's what it does for me. Yeah, it takes my off my own plate and gets me out looking at the world in a bigger way. What about you guys? What do you think? Janie, you have lots of service experience.
It helps you to feel more love for others and to get to know them better, so they feel like you're your brothers and sisters instead of just strangers.
True.
Well, and then come follow me this week. I mean, we saw from the Savior's example in washing the disciples' feet that makes our Father in heaven and Jesus Christ happy when we serve others. And
Yeah.
hopefully that helps, we feel good about ourselves if we're, if we know we're doing something they'll appreciate.
Yeah. What do you think, Dana?
Well, I think we learn.
I'm not hearing you.
I was about to say, can anybody hear her?
Yeah, I can't
No.
hear you. I don't think you're muted, but your mic just isn't quite right.
Might be the bad internet.
Yeah, maybe.
Things
Robot.
to be said for living out in the country. Most of the time, I love it. Internet lately is absolutely hands down the worst I've ever encountered.
Wow.
Yeah, internet's been rough. Do you want to try again, Dana?
I tried to use technology, it didn't work.
We can hear you now.
Had to take this little thing out of my ear.
Uh-huh.
I was trying to, I got grandpa and those guys in the other room. Anyway, I just think as we serve others, we, like everyone has said, we come out of ourselves, but I think we see outside of our box and we start to see others the way that Heavenly Father sees them. For instance, we had a young lady get up and bear her testimony today. And I was just so proud of Courtney. She's so young and new in the church. And I just love watching her grow. And as we serve one another in those little ways and recognize things about each other as growth, I just think it helps us all grow. As we see the growth in others, it helps us learn and grow and get a little bit better at doing that, so reaching out and serving, it's truly how you do learn to love people.
Yeah, and it gives me hope the same way, right? As you're watching Courtney,
Yeah.
you feel more hopeful as she's growing, we're growing. You're like, oh, this is great.
Well, it's just, we had her in Young Women's. Pam Slaughter and I had her way back. She started coming to Young Women's years and years ago, and then she was gone for quite a while and came back. And I just think, we all have so much to change and to grow as we go forward in this life. And it's just so fun to see someone, she's really trying, and you just see that growth and you see her in a different light. And I think that's what this is all about. As we read stories about our ancestors, we understand a little bit more of their plight, and it helps us to learn and grow and maybe develop our lives in a different way. And it strengthens us. It helps guide us what to do and maybe not to do, things. It's really helps us become close in those ways as we learn who people are, whether it's struggles or great experiences. It helps us all to grow and learn.
It gives us that connection that unifies us. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Thank you. That's wonderful. Okay, so can we get somebody to read? Gina, can you read?
Sure. How can
Okay.
serving others open the windows of heaven in your life? Some people feel that they deserve what others have, which can cause resentment. Others feel entitled to things they have not earned. These two traps blind people from seeing an essential truth. All things belong to God. Resentment and entitlement are overcome by focusing on the needs of others.
And I think it's not necessarily in entitlement and resentment that Amy was talking about when you said it gets you out of yourself, right? Service, it gets you out of yourself. Brother Abbott, will you read scripture?
Hosea 2:17, when you are in the service of your fellow beings, you are only in the service of your God.
And Brother St. George, can you read Mosiah 4:26?
Yeah. And now for the sake of retaining a remission of your sins from day to day, I would that ye should impart of your substance to the poor, every man according to that which he hath, such as feeding the hungry, clothing the naked, visiting the sick, and administering to their relief, both spiritually and temporally according to their wants.
Thank you. Okay, so this is our fun time.
I
We are
thought
gonna
it was
look-
interesting at the end, Beth, that it said according to their wants, not their needs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for bringing that out, according to their wants.
not their needs.
Why
And
do
I
you
think
think it does
sometimes-
wants instead of needs?
I think sometimes it's easy to go, I'm guilty of that, and I don't blame my parents, but being raised by parents that were extremely self-sufficient and taught us not to impose on people to be extremely self-sufficient. I have to be careful and not go, well, they don't need that. Or, that's just a want. They don't really need that. I
Uh-huh.
have to be, so I think that it says their wants, not their needs.
That's cool.
That's a lesson for me.
That's a good one. All right, so this is our activity to create a project that we want to do together to help someone else. So as a group, we're going to think of someone who needs help, talk about the talents, contacts, and resources we have to offer, and make a plan of service. It can be for anything, but some way that we can bring our group's gifts to serve someone else. You guys got any ideas? Something come to mind?
Do you want this in a family history aspect?
It can be in any aspect at all. Obviously, family history is what we're talking about. So if you've got a family history aspect, that would be great. But anything at all. The ideas here in the box, we could make a family history using the booklet, My Family. We could teach somebody how to use My Family. We could go to the temple as a group and do some temple work for these people that we've been working for and bless them with our service. We could help someone else on their path with self-reliance or with family history. Something we can do to bless others.
Maybe we should go to Gina's house and we can all scan stuff for her on an afternoon.
I love that idea. We could have a scanning party at Gina's. Yes.
We know
Yeah,
she has a lot of work to do.
One name that I think of is Fritz Dietrich. He seems to have trouble with family history.
Ah,
I know he's had help from other people. I don't know if he still needs help, but occasionally he mentions that he's trying to get his family work done. In fact, he's got one of his sons. I think he's to the point where he's ready for the endowment. So if we can help get him to the temple, and I went with the sisters last Friday and enjoyed that. So maybe if that
Tell
might,
him to come this next Friday, Phil.
yeah, I invited him. I said, if you want to go, I'll make sure you get there.
does he have names that need to be done that we could maybe help him get to the temple and do a bunch of names for him?
Yes, I think he does. In particular, his son. He's done the initiatory. He's done the baptism. I think he's done the initiatory. He just needs to do the endowment. So we could help him.
Yeah, temple night next Friday. How's that fit for people? The idea of going as a group for temple night.
As long as I don't have to drive, if I can get a ride with somebody, I'm not a good night driver.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me
we-
either.
If
But
we-
if we're going, we can get you there.
What time is night?
I think, what time is the session on for temple night? Is it 7 o'clock?
Usually 7.
7, but it's awful crowded. We've been going earlier, and I don't know if everybody's available to go early.
We could go earlier. What's the earliest everybody could go? And is this something that you guys want to work on? I don't want to go forward unless everybody kind of is interested.
Yeah, I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah, because I know we could go earlier too. We're pretty flexible.
But the people that work probably can't. You've got Katie and
Are there
Amy and
avenues?
Jake and
Yeah, what fits for you?
I am off at 4 usually on Fridays in McKinney. So usually after work I could go right there, but I'm going camping this weekend, so I'll be gone.
Yes, you
But
will be there.
And I have a Prosper State Girls Camp in my camp this weekend, so I'm probably out. I've got to
Okay.
usher them in this weekend.
How's it
Beth,
look for-
I don't know how quick you want to do something. Amy has talked on our Wednesday nights. She has talked about, normally, just like we had the prep fair, there's normally a genealogy Saturday that, they do I don't know if you call it a fair or whatever. Is there something we could do as a group, maybe one evening at the church or on a Saturday? I mean, if they're not going to have a genealogy fair, to maybe introduce people to, Family Search, or to, show them it's not as hard as they think, or I don't know, somebody help here.
We could, to show people that it's not as hard as they think, we could do a concerted effort to market for the class on the 25th.
Yeah, so maybe
If
one
all
night.
of us invited, a half a dozen people to the class on the 25th and nurtured and helped that could be a good way to teach.
Yeah, I would think I would focus on the two things you already have in place. Saturdays, well, Saturdays in my mind are a day that people get things done or with their family, it's just,
Especially in the spring.
it's a huge day to get ready for Sunday,
Yeah.
We kind of have to do it all on Saturday. So I would really utilize your Zoom and your Wednesday night efforts, in those things. In the past, we've done a lot of family history fairs, and I'm just going to say they were fabulous, except for the attendance.
Yeah, the attendance isn't great.
You
Jake,
can't people to come out.
Jake, I can say we've outgrown our room on Wednesday night.
That's awesome.
In fact, we were supposed to, I don't know if Allison remembered, we were going to ask the bishop if we could move to the overflow. We just aren't sure if Amy's Wi-Fi will still, or if it has to be sitting in a window. But Sister Martin said, she struggles with claustrophobia. And she said, there are too many people in that room.
Hey,
We've outgrown our room.
What room are you in?
We're right next to the, we're in the old genealogy library.
That's what I was going to
Yeah, that's a really small room.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
What time are y'all usually finished, Gina? About 8?
We do 6 to 8 or 8:15-ish.
Yeah, I don't usually get home till like 6. Wednesday's a late day for me. So, but yeah, overflow, because the Relief Society and the primary rooms are taken, right?
Yeah, well, maybe not this summer, but seminary has, at least one of them. And young women, if they're doing anything in their room, we can't do it.
Yeah.
Overflow was really the biggest I could think of.
I would see if you can take one or the other of the Relief Society or primary room. Seminary only needs one of those. The problem with your overflow that you might run into is when the youth have gym activities.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they need the
maybe
whole
we just need to ask if we can have one of those rooms, because then Amy, you could put the internet thing in the window again.
Yeah, it would have to be in the window. If I were to try to do it in the gym, I wouldn't think that it would work.
Okay. Okay, then we will check on that Wednesday. So that might be something, Beth, is just to, kind of get the word out about the class, about the Wednesday nights, that we have enough activity on Wednesdays that we've had to move to a bigger room, so come join us so we can move to an even bigger room.
How do you guys feel about doing the get the word out for the class in combination with helping Fritz? Because then people that can't be there on Friday could help with getting the word out, and everybody could be part of the project. Is that too much to ask?
No.
I don't think so.
Nope.
You need to check with Fritz and see if he's available Friday too before you. Do we know how he, feels about things, and is he ready to take his stuff?
Yeah, reach out to Fritz.
On this shorter notice, or do we push it back a week or so,
or even a month? We could do it the first week for Temple Night, July.
It's great. Use this one if you can, but if it's, we kind of need to, if we're doing Fritz's stuff, we need to make sure he can go and is ready.
Absolutely. Okay, who wants to call Fritz?
I'll do it.
All right, so Phil, you'll let us know.
Yeah, I talk to him
Fritz and how we can help
several times a week, so I'll let him know.
Well, and I know if you guys do Taco Tuesday, then Troy will be there and he'll be real interested in helping too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
What about your marketing? Sorry.
Yeah, as far as getting the word out, I put all the links on our family history page. So if you just send people to the website, does everybody know how to get to bonhamward.org? Super easy. And then the Zoom link is there, the old YouTube or the YouTube recordings are there. And then I put it on the first page that should pop up when everybody pulls it up. The sacrament meeting agenda. So it should be at the announcement section.
Yes. We should have it in announcements as well.
I don't know how to add it to the calendar yet. I think there's a Google Calendar on there. but
There
I'll
is,
figure
you
that
can
out.
do it through tools. As
Okay.
the family history leader, you can just go in and add it to the regular calendar for the ward and for the state. I mean, depending on how you want to do it. It's not hard in tools. I used to be the one in charge for young women. And put it
Google
in-
Tools.
No, it was in tools itself, the ward calendar.
Yes, Jules.
I'll figure
Yeah.
that out.
Okay. So you'll add it to the ward calendar.
And Amy and I can get with Allison Wednesday and talk about ways to, get the word out about Wednesday night and the class, on the 25th.
Okay. And I'll just keep talking to people one-on-one. That seems to work really well. They're like, oh no, I didn't know that. I'm like, well, you should come because it would be really cool. And then we just talk about it. And so all of us, if we all just kind of share here and there the same way one-on-one, I think would really make a difference. All right, so we've got the temple work to help Fritz, and then we've got the promoting and helping others learn about how to come into the family history class on the 25th and on Wednesday nights. And we'll all eventually get to the temple with Fritz. Sound right? Is that what we want to do?
Sounds good.
All right, cool. It's gonna be fun. It'll be a great temple night.
Yeah.
All right, Elder Hales said, the purpose of both temporal and spiritual self-reliance is to get ourselves on higher ground so we can lift others in need. Dana, will you read President Monson?
Sure. When we work together cooperatively, we can accomplish anything. When we do so, we eliminate the weakness of one person standing alone and substitute the strength of many serving together.
And you can see how we could make a real impact in the ward, working on these two different projects, helping Fritz with so many people in his family and helping so many others come for family in his temple work. Be wonderful. So here's the commit. We've got our plan. Everybody here, we're going to work on our individual parts, and Phil, you'll come back and let us know about Fritz.
Okay.
We're going to share what we learned today about not communication. That's something I'll go back and fix. About service with our family and our friends. And then moving forward, Katie, we are so excited to learn about Wiki and World Car and Find a Grave and indexing.
Yeah,
All right,
exciting stuff.
teach us. We're so here.
All right. Okay, so on Family Search, there is a really good research wiki. Let me go ahead and move stuff so I can.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like Wikipedia, and when you go in there, you can hang on. Let me think how I want to do this real quick. Do you think you could click on that bit and pull up the main page of the wiki?
Let's just see. Does that look right?
Yeah, there's the main page, and then you can do online genealogy records by location.
Where is that?
So the wiki page for that one is on the bottom of that slide.
Tell me, am I close?
Can you
Yeah.
click the blue
That
link
third
at the
bullet
top of
point.
the page?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Can you click the blue link at the top of the page?
Click the blue link. the-
FamilySearch.org, the one that's in blue, Research Wiki. You should be able
Yeah,
to
the main
click that
page.
and it'll take you to Family Search.
The blue
Yes,
link.
that right there, yes.
Family search, no, that's not a link.
It
List of
should,
all localities is a link. Wiki home. What about over here? Is there something here that would be helpful to you, Katie?
Do you mind giving control over to me?
Oh, I'm
and then I'll
happy
go
to
ahead
give
and
you
click.
control. Absolutely.
Sometimes it's a little hard to
Go, Katie, go.
click on
There you
stuff.
go.
Okay, all right. Let me see if I can get to the right place.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop my share and you go ahead and start yours.
Okay, So when we go to family search, let me think.
Are we supposed to be seeing your screen, Katie?
It's not there yet.
Hang on.
Oh, there
There
we
it
go.
is.
That's my screen that y'all are seeing still,
Oh, okay.
but Katie will
Your
be able to get
screen.
hers on.
But you're in the right place. So,
How did you
Okay,
get
that's-
to that?
This
okay.
screen,
How did you
You're-
get to the wiki screen?
I clicked on the link in the notes. If we go back one page,
Okay, you clicked on the blue.
yeah, the blue link that Katie
The
had,
hyperlink? Yeah.
it
All right,
worked.
good. Awesome. So this is the map of areas that you can click on for the research wiki, and you can do by area. If you want to go ahead and click on Texas for me.
Shout out.
Oh, all it does is zoom in.
Oh, no,
back
you're on
page.
the you're just on the map. If you'll go back a little bit, sorry.
Yeah, let's just see what we can do.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me go back to the keynote. Click on the wiki. There we go. And then click on Texas. Woo.
Yeah. You're going to click on North America first, and then
Yep.
you get
It's a
down to,
Okay.
yeah, you want to United States,
States and Texas.
Texas. Yeah. So if I wanted to look in the research wiki for Texas, there are all sorts of, so if you scroll down a little bit on the right, you're going to see a tab for beginning research.
Right here.
You're going to have guided research, research strategies, and record finder. You can click in those and go research about researching in Texas. Here are some of the record types below that of what you're going to find. You're going to find land and property records, medical records. There are all sorts of records that may not pop up in your regular hints.
Oh, yeah.
But if you know that your family is from a particular area of Texas, then you're going to be able to look, and this goes for any state. Some states have better records than others. But if you know, for instance, if you scroll down a little bit, so we can look on the county map. Okay, so I know that a lot of my ancestors went to Ellis County and founded some towns there. And they're all buried there, and you know, that's where my people are from, also Fannin. But you can click on one of those counties. Go ahead and click on Fannin. Let's see what they have.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh,
All
wow.
right. So if you know your people are from Fannin County, this is going to give you lots of information on the cemeteries, the records. So it gives you a contents over here, but it's very specific to county.
Mm-hmm.
So if, for instance, you know, like I do, that some of my relatives are buried in Telephone or in Honey Grove, then this can be where you, go ahead and click on cemetery.
Okay.
This is where you can find where some of the cemeteries are. You can find census records. You can find,
Oh, here's Honey Grove. Should we look at Honey Grove?
sure, let's look at Honey Grove, see what we can find in there.
There's
This
your
page is
census.
also really good. Like, for instance, in Fannin County, there are a lot of unincorporated towns, or there are towns that don't exist anymore. You may have just a sign along the side of the road that says the town, but there's nothing there anymore. So this will give you some really good resources, even on towns that aren't here anymore.
Yeah, this historical population is interesting.
Yeah.
The way it's grown, yeah.
I mean, it's still not a lot.
It's
We actually
grown and
have
shrunk.
Yeah, we have less population in Honey Grove than we used to, because there are no big cotton farms anymore. You know, there's not a lot of stuff that used to happen. So.
Yeah.
but you can see it gives the history. It gives you can even get some of the information on the topography, the census information, things that used to be here. You know, there's a really good historical society for Fannin County as well. So if you wanted some more information, then you'd go to the Historical Society for Fannin County, and you could probably find out a lot of information, which is actually one of the things I need to do. I'm part of my family. They used to live here in Fannin County, and I haven't found some of them yet. So I'm still working on it. Lots of people to find.
Back to Fannin County.
All right. But this kind of gives you an idea of what you can find here. Now, if for instance, the courthouse had been burned at some point, that information would be on this page. That happened a lot across the South. So a lot of county seats were burned either in the Civil War or they caught fire later. It's just one of the hazards, not having electricity. So, anybody have any questions getting down to these county pages?
Oh, it looks good.
There's just a wealth of information here. If you don't know about the wiki, you know, this can point you in the right directions if you know somebody was from there. All right, if we can go to the next slide. All right, this is one of my favorite things too. Family search indexing. So when they recently had the, was it 1940 census or 50?
1950 just came out.
No, they came out with the 40 a while ago. I'm sorry? I think it was the 1950 that we were indexing recently, this last year. Yeah, okay. So if you want to copy the link and go ahead and put it in the into
This
the
link
bar.
For family search
Can you do
indexing.
that?
Let me
Yeah.
just, if I take it out, yeah, if I take it out that way, I can. Maybe. All right, here comes.
There we go.
And
Maybe I'll get to learn new things when we do this.
Gonna have to sign in. Y'all will get to see it all from me.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's indexing.
Okay, indexing is awesome. Even if you have 5 minutes, you can go in and index.
All right.
And sometimes when I log into the page and it asks me, hey, you want to index for a few minutes and fix some place names? I say yes. Do that a couple times and then start on my work.
Okay. It can,
So
want to go anywhere here?
for now, let's just stay on the main page. Oops. Where were we? Okay,
Yeah,
so on the main
Find
page
a
of
project
indexing,
page.
you're going to find the batches that you've done, your progress, any messages. If you want to scroll down just a little bit. So it said that Beth has done 615 records, and it will keep up. It'll tell you the groups that you're a part of. So you're in the Sherman, Texas State, the Bonham Ward.
Bonham Ward. Everybody make sure you're part of the Bonham Ward indexing group.
Yeah. So if you are part of a particular project, it'll show you on your project the progress that you've made. Like I was on the last census and working on that. I did a lot of work in Texas and in Alabama and a few other places. So I can find my people better.
Katie,
now that I'm sorry, go ahead.
Katie, are these groups, is that the same place where we go and get on the groups on Family Search?
These groups?
No, it's not the same group. It's not the same group. This is your membership group. So I guess a better way to think of it would be for indexing purposes. For instance, the state can go in and see how many members there are and what progress everybody has made. And things
So like when we log in, that's going to automatically come up?
Yeah, when you
indexing.
click on indexing up here, this is the page that it brings me to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you click on try it. That's how I got there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then it shows me up here what I've done, my opportunities, and then when I just want to get started, right across the
Yeah.
top. Right there.
Now, if you have special talents, like for instance, you can read another language. then you can always click on find a project and you can index in other languages. Or if you're particularly good at writing from the 1600s, for instance, you can go in and find a project that fits those talents that you have. So, all right. Would you mind? Yes, thank you.
Sorry, Kathleen. The cool thing about that too, if you click on the Bonham Award, if you're a statistics person like me, it actually shows you how many records we've indexed this year by month. And you can go back through the previous years. Like there's one COVID year, we had like 11,000.
Oh yeah, we had
indexed.
like,
holy cow.
One. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, it does show you all the stats.
Here, let's see if we can go back.
I think it's kind of fun, but it shows hopefully growth, right?
And then on 2020.
Yeah,
everybody got locked in. There you go.
We had to do something. That's right.
Yeah.
So if y'all want to bring up in the group or things like that, I put kind of a fun little game on our website as well, the bonhamward.org. So the top indexers, we got top 3 spots. I'm the first place with 11 records. All right, somebody beat me, okay?
Oh, I did more than that last month. I know I did more.
Perfect. So send me your statistics and I'll let you claim the top spot.
182. There you go.
Get your shout out on the award website.
There's my proof.
182.
282 in
Pretty
2023.
cool.
Yes.
I will update that right now.
I like Netflix and indexing. I put them together.
But it also lets people know if they do want to get into it, like who's the guru, right? So 282, got it. You're number one.
Thank you. All right, where do we want to go
Didn't
next?
think about that. That's awfully cool. Back to the slide if you don't mind.
Okay.
All right. So you can download. There's an app, Family Search, called Get Involved, and you can use that for indexing on the go. So it's pretty easy. A lot of it is you don't have to type extensive things. A lot of it is just confirming what was already there or doing corrections. So super easy. You can do it in the doctor's office or waiting. All right. So some of the other main research sites that people use, you've got Find a Grave. Find a Grave is awesome. You can search both Find a Grave and Billion Graves. You can search for particular cemeteries or in particular areas. I find a Grave. I wouldn't right now, but that'll be something that everybody can explore. There's a lot of genealogical information on Find a Grave, but with anything else, it comes with the caveat that do your own research. You know, people put it on there as a volunteer, and sometimes they'll link to other graves, which is great, but you know, point, because a lot of times there are children missing and you know other things like that. So you know, it's buyer beware. It's a free volunteer site. There is a really good site on Family Tree magazines, and I went ahead and put the hyperlink there. 25 best genealogy websites for beginners. That will give you an extensive list of places that you can use, and it's really one of the best website pages that I've seen with everything all together. Obviously, there are more. There are hundreds of them, but those are the big ones. Those are the big hitters. So if you can't find something, it may not be out there yet, but you may be able to find it someplace else. On Ancestry.com, I know a lot of us use Ancestry along with Family Search. It is a paid site, but if you're LDS, you can get a limited membership. And we actually went through Ancestry.com before and showed you how to link your LDS ancestors. So I won't go over that again, but if you want, if you ever worry about guidance or how you should document things, the National Genealogical Society is awesome. They have free forms on there. They have ways to research. They can put you in touch with professionals if you're at that point. And it's a really good site. So, you know, if you ever need some resources, you can go there.
Awesome. Guys, got any questions for Katie? Because the next slide
Anybody
is
have any questions? I'm sorry?
I said, any questions? Because the next slide is to wind up. That's the end. Yeah.
What are we missing on Ancestry.com? I thought we had full access. What are we missing with limited?
You're missing, I know that you missed some of the military records. That's paid. some of the newspapers, the access to stuff from newspapers.com. There's some European stuff missing. For me, that's not such a big deal because a lot of my ancestors came over really early. And so I've got a lot of American history to go through, and I'm not quite back that far, maybe in another 10 years, I don't know. But if you really need the information in another country, you can always pay for that subscription.
Ask your kids for Mother's Day and your birthday for subscriptions.
There you go.
There you
for
go.
my birthday.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
All right. Any other questions before we wind it up? Let's look at where we are now from where we were 6 weeks ago. What have you learned? I've learned that maybe I could do this. I feel hopeful. Thank you, Katie.
You can totally do this.
What have
And
you guys
you've got
learned?
so many people on the other side of the veil helping you out.
That's right. And then let's prepare. What would we share with our friends about this course? Let's do a little brainstorming here for what we're going to share to have people come on the 25th.
I would say that you're not by yourself, right? A lot of times it gets overwhelming if you think you have to do it all yourself, and maybe nobody in your family wants to do it, but we've got how many people in here right now? 8 or 9 that the camaraderie is there and are all willing to help. And then Wednesday nights, a ton of people. So it's a good time.
The team. Yeah.
Team effort.
Anything
big thing
that you
for
would
me
add?
is-
I'm sorry, what?
I think a big thing for me was seeing a big fan chart, to see someone that had more than 3 generations and actually have 7. And between, you know, everything that Beverly has done and some stuff that I've done in the little bit that, you know, well, 6 months or a year, I guess, we have 7 generations and some even a little further, and they're pretty complete. So to see that fan chart for me was huge.
That's awesome.
To find those
That's
people,
amazing.
yeah,
So motivating, right? You're like, whoa, I really can do this. Yeah.
100%.
How about some feedback? Anything you would add or do differently with the next round?
I
I
don't
mean, I
think
can
so.
think of things that I might do differently, but it's not to this presentation.
Okay, well, I need to fix the one slide, but if you think of things, let's change it up and let's make it even better, you know?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for your attendance, for your faith, for your testimony, for your camaraderie, for the strength that we have felt in being here together. Never give up on your family on both sides of the veil. Yes. All right, let's do this last quote from President Nelson. Brother Abbott, will you read for us?
My dear brothers and sisters, the joy we feel has little to do with the circumstances of our lives and everything to do with the focus of our lives. When the focus of our lives is on God's plan of salvation and Jesus Christ and his gospel, we can feel joy regardless of what is happening or not happening in our lives. Joy comes from and because of him. He is the source of all joy. We can feel joy even while having a bad day, a bad week, or even a bad year.
Yeah. And lots of joy in family history work, right? Because it's forever. And then we've got this amazing quote from Dennis B. Neuenschwander. If I want my children to know those who still live in my memory, then I must build a bridge between them. I alone am the link to the generations that stand on either side of me. And so as we move forward, really ponder on that. How will you continue to build the bridge between those on either side of you and you? We are those links. We're the ones, we alone can do that.
Amy, we had that in the temple prep class today. That was your word.
It was.
What was your word?
What was it?
P and ended with an R.
Progenity?
Yeah,
Progeny?
it meant my peeps.
It wasn't progen. What was it?
Progenitor?
Progenitor.
Yes,
Yes.
Something like that. Because I thought it was your ancestors, but they said, no, it's your ancestors and your, children and ones to still come.
Your family. Yep. Thank you. Back to you, Brother Abbott.
Oh, yeah, no, a huge thank you to those that participated. Thank you to our instructors. It's been wonderful. So yeah, we'll go ahead and close up with a prayer. Brother St. George, would you mind saying that?
Not at all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our beloved Father in heaven, we are so grateful to be able to gather each Sunday and learn more about our family history and how we can do better as researchers and teachers of others. We're grateful for Beth and excuse me, we're grateful for Beth and Sister Barton and all the participators and the knowledge that they bring. We ask that thy blessings be upon us as we move forward and we take these principles and the things we've learned and apply them in our efforts to serve our members and our genealogy on both sides of the veil. We're grateful for the gospel. We're so grateful for all the temples in the world and the family history centers that help us to do this great work. And we ask thy blessings to be upon us as we go forward. And these things we pray for humbly in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Yeah.
Thanks, y'all.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have a great week.
Okay.